I want to thank everybody for coming to our 20th annual awards dinner tonight. And I want to thank the Hyatt Regency for hosting our dinner tonight. They've done a beautiful job, and I want to recognize them. I mean, the whole crew, Dina, Nancy, Andrea, Capri, everyone has been working really, really hard to help us with our special night. So thank you again to the Hyatt for everything. I'd like to recognize our dignitaries here tonight, so if you could just raise your hand or stand up, please, when I call your name. Chuck Warrington, of course, our presenting sponsor tonight with Clearwater Gas System. City Manager Bill Horn. Assistant City Manager Jill. There she is. We have two mayors here tonight, Mayor George Criticus. Vice Mayor Jay Polglaze is at a DDB meeting tonight, but he'll be here shortly, so when he gets here, we'll thank him for coming. Councilmember Hoyt Hamilton. Hoyt. Councilmember Bill Johnson is also at the DDB meeting, but he will be here tonight as well. Our Clearwater Police Major David Dalton. And our brand spanking new Lieutenant Anthony Monti. Chairman of our board of directors, Louis Stephalopoulos. And Councilwoman Doreen DiPolito apologizes she couldn't be here. She was actually at our board meeting this morning, but she flew to DC today. She's working on the funding for our new Pinellas Trail connection. So thank you, Doreen, for all the work she does in transportation and helping us here on the beach. A group of beach business people have formed a separate chamber of commerce exclusively for the beach, Island Estates, and Sand Key. Our focus will be on nothing but tourism and redevelopment, said David Little, a beach real estate broker, who came up with the idea for a new chamber of commerce. It's fine for the city's established chamber, the Greater Clearwater Chamber, to have a broader mission, but tourism needs more focus, he said. Other leaders of the Clearwater Beach Chamber of Commerce include Clearwater Beach Association President John Duran and a small hotel owner, Ken Rosenau. They plan to meet with other beach business people Tuesday and later elect a 20-member board. That article appeared in the Tampa Tribune in November of 1995. Here with us tonight is David Little and John Duran, our founding fathers of the Clearwater Beach Chamber of Commerce. Gentlemen, would you please stand? Thank you for your vision to create a Chamber of Commerce for Clearwater Beach, and I hope our chamber continues to fulfill your expectations of your original mission. Mr. Ken Rosenau passed away in August of 2012, and he proudly realized one of his many accomplishments in life was being one of the founders of the Clearwater Beach Chamber. So I want to thank all of you gentlemen. Right now, I'd like to recognize our charter members. We have several members in our audience that have been members of our chamber for 20 years, and we have members that have been members for 10 years. Where's Vicki? You want to come up and help me do this real quick? All right. We have a gift certificate for the member who has been a member for 10 years. Hopefully they're here tonight. And the winner is Away to Mandalay Beach Properties, Beach Houses. Are they here tonight? Okay, well, we will give this to them. All right. And for 20 years. B&W Condos. Are they here tonight? Nope? Okay, well, we have giver certificate. Okay. They're in Vancouver, yes. Okay. Now I'd like to introduce Louis, if you could please come up. Louis has been our chairman of our board for, this is your second year?
Yes.
Yes. And I thought if you'd like to recognize all of our board.
Yes, I'd like to now ask that the executive committee and our board of directors please stand to be recognized. We work with a great group of people, and I'd like each one of them to stand to be recognized. Thank you.
And I want to recognize the staff. We do have an incredible staff at the Clearwater Beach Chamber. Liz LaJoy, our general manager. Liz. Vicki Hash, our event coordinator, who put this event together and all of our other events that we've done so far. Roberto Ruby, who is running our power presentation tonight. Michael Freed, who is here tonight. Donna Dennis and Kathy Murray. These are all of our employees of the chamber. And I will quickly recognize our volunteers because without them, we wouldn't be as successful as we are. John Cagle, Nancy Gardnier, Ed Patch, Pat Kangas, Christy Hanna, Connie Maynard, Terry Beal, and Gail Brzezinski. Thank you very much for all the work you do for us. I want to recognize another one of our volunteers tonight. Her name was Denise Eterna. She was not only just a member of our chamber, but she also served as a volunteer for our chamber every week ever since she had become a member of our chamber. She actually volunteered the night of the Taste Fest, and she worked all that Friday night. And sadly, she passed away on Monday from a brain aneurysm. So I want to recognize Denise and her family and let them know that she's in our thoughts and prayers tonight. If I could get everybody to join me with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mayor, if I could ask you to please come up and give the invocation.
If y'all are watching the video, don't drive that fast on Mandalay. Okay? Holy God, holy mighty, holy immortal, O Lord our God, who has placed time and season under your command, and who enlighten us with the light of truth, we, the members and guests of the Clearwater Beach Chamber of Commerce, lift up the eyes of our hearts to entreat you to guide our every thought, word, and deed. We pray for temperate seasons, gentle rains, and the abundance of the fruit of the earth. As we strive to serve our community, now celebrating its centennial year, we ask you to keep watch over our businesses, our public servants, and our visitors, to train our youth, to protect those who need help, to encourage the faint-hearted, to forgive us of our shortcomings, and to keep our armed forces under the shadow of your wings. We also pause to give you thanks for all that is bestowed upon us, for every good and perfect gift comes down from you, the Father of lights. O Lord our God, as we now ask you to bless this food and drink to the nourishment of our souls and bodies, so that it may strengthen us as we strive to do good throughout our community, now and forever, and into the ages of ages. Amen. Thank you.
All right, I know the salads are going to be served now, but we wanted to recognize our sponsors tonight. We had a little fun with our sponsorship levels. I think you can tell from the theme on the tables and our theme of the program tonight, but our theme was sea glass and coral and pearls. So we have some sponsors tonight. Shepherd's Beach Resort. Billy, if you could please come up and... Thank you for your sponsorship.
Thank you.
I skipped over one. Chuck, if you could come up real quick for being our presenting sponsor. Yeah, you can just give it to him. Where did Chuck go? Oh, Christy. Mini Chuck. Thank you, dear. Clearwater Marine Aquarium, either David or Frank, who wants to come up, please? There's Frank. Thank you, sir, for your kind contribution, for always sponsoring our chamber. Tampa Bay Times, Laura Shelton. Yay, Laura, thank you. As with all of our sponsors, the Tampa Bay Times has been a huge sponsor of all of our events, including our most recent Taste Fest and Restaurant Week. And Bob Holloman's Beachcomber Sherry. Yay! I don't know where our chamber would be right now without Sherry Heilman. Frenchie's Restaurant, Pam Ball. Here she comes. Thank you, Pam. Sunsets at Pier 60, Daily Festival. Jean? I don't know if there's ever been an event that Sunsets at Pier 60 hasn't supported with this beach chamber in the last 20 years, because they're 20 years old and we're 20 years old, so we've grown up together. We're neighbors. And the Bank of Tampa, Craig West. I want to say a very special thank you to Darlene Cagle, who did the flower arrangements tonight. Darlene does these flower arrangements for all of our events. She absolutely went over the top with following our theme tonight with the seashells and the coral and the sea glass. So thank you, Darlene. They're absolutely beautiful. And a huge shout out to Wayne Cathell. Wayne is our photographer, and he has done all the photography for all of our events for a long time. I think most of the pictures that you see on our website are from Wayne, and he's also done the video presentation that you're watching tonight. So thank you, Wayne, for everything. Is everybody enjoying your dinner so far? Good. Chef Richard did an outstanding job on dinner tonight. I remember when I was talking to Nancy, and she was telling me that we were going to have a chicken dinner tonight. She says, but it won't be your average chicken dinner. And I think that was proof in what we were plated in front of us tonight. So thank you. Thank you, Chef Richard. I would like to invite our founding father, John Duran, to come up and say a few words about the history of the Clearwater Beach Chamber.
I had forgotten what it was like 20 years ago, but I remember now. The first thing I want to comment on is how many young people I see here today, and how glad I am to see young people, because for this to be a viable organization, it has to have younger people that'll take over when some of us move on, as we will. I hope you've been watching the slideshow, because there's some really interesting stuff in there. Part and parcel of the history of the Beach Chamber was the mid-'90s. Some of you won't be surprised to hear that at that time there were troublemakers at the beach. There are still troublemakers at the beach. But that's something we take pride in at the beach. Among other things, besides the fact that the Clearwater Beach Chamber of Commerce was started in 1995, Darlene mentioned that the trolley is 20 years old. And I think Sunsets at Pier 60 is 20 years old. Is that right? Anybody at Sunsets? So the mid-'90s were a busy time for a few people at Clearwater Beach. As Darlene read from the newspaper, the Clearwater Beach Association, that was another one, another bunch of troublemakers. The chamber actually followed. There was one group called the Clearwater Islands Association. There was another group called the Clearwater Beach Merchants Association. And there was another group and another group and another group. And Dr. Rosenau, God rest his soul, and David Little and I talked about the fact that these things just kept coming and going, coming and going. And we said, well, maybe what we need is something that will have continuity, something that people can say, well, that's credible. Well, what's credible is a chamber of commerce. And I'm a lawyer, and so I prepared the paperwork. And David's a salesman, and he got people to join. And Dr. Rosenau had money, and he funded it. But that was there were a whole lot of things going on at that time. Some of you don't even know what cruising is. But we had an issue way back in the early 90s or late 80s where the beach was being taken over at night by people just driving around having a good time. And that was fun. But we were trying to figure out what to do about it, and among other things. That was one of the issues. There were a whole lot of other issues. This one won't sound strange to some of you. We thought that the tourist tax money was not being apportioned fairly. Since we were collecting a huge part of it, we thought more of it should be promoting Clearwater Beach, and our friends to the south didn't agree, and we thought they had a little too much political control, so some of us were working on that. All things considered, we thought maybe what we need is an organization that is focused on Clearwater Beach and tourism, and not on subdivisions, and not on commercial development, and not on shopping centers, but on Clearwater Beach and on tourism. And so we had a organizing meeting at the Beach Diner, which I still remember fondly. It was one of my favorite places. I know I saw Lisa here somewhere. She's still one of my favorite people, and the Beach Diner was still one of my favorite places. We organized our meeting at the Beach Diner. A better place to organize couldn't be found. And the next meeting was bigger, so we had to move on to the Beach Civic Center, if I remember correctly, which is would be in the middle of the roundabout now. We started. We thought, boy, if we could build this up to 100 members, we would be fat. We would really be all right. So when people say, "What was your goal?" Our goal was 100. If we could get 100 members, that would be pretty good, and we would be able to survive. 6 years after we started, some crazy people decided to fly airplanes into the World Trade Center, and I thought, a lot of people thought tourism was going to be in the tank for quite a while. But the Beach Chamber survived that and has thrived to the point that it is today. And it's gone through some iterations, and I am grateful to all the people that have carried it from one generation to the next generation. And I think that the current board and Darlene's leadership have certainly made something that we can all be proud of, and I hope you are, because I am. Thank you, and glad you could come tonight.
Pretty proud when we can have one of our founding fathers here tonight, and with David here too. It's an honor to be able to continue with the mission. I know I couldn't imagine doing this without the board of directors that I have with me, supporting the goals and the missions of what we do for the beach. Councilmember Bill Johnson just entered the room. Thank you for coming, Bill. At this time, I would like to invite Mayor Jeffords, one of the first mayors of Clearwater, if you could please come up and say a few words.
Few words.
Wow. Mayor, you're not allowed to smoke in here.
What?
You're not allowed to smoke.
When did that start? All right, I'll save that for later. Drink out. Is this not allowed either? What did we pay for these meals today? It used to be $1. What? Somebody else's speech down here. Hello, I'm Mayor J.R. Jeffords. That stands for John Royal. I was the city's first mayor. Actually, I was mayor 3 times. It used to be a town, and I was a mayor in 1906. I was a mayor in 1914 when it was still a town, and we pushed the issue of making it a city. They kept me as mayor, so I was the first mayor of Clearwater 100 years ago. How do I look? They kept me. I used to have a house that is currently occupied where the main library is. There's an oak tree in front of the library, which I planted, and it's still standing today. You might see my name around town in a couple of places. I have a street that somebody named for me down around O'Keefe's pub, runs right beside Morton Plant Hospital. And I was wondering where this building came from, because when I was mayor, this was a big sandbar, and I just don't remember this building being here. Matter of fact, to get over here, it pretty much required some kind of a paddle boat, which I had one. And, I saw George a little while ago. I remember George. He used to come by City Hall, shine shoes, and we used to call him Boy George. And he kept saying, one day I'm going to be mayor. And I said, good luck with that. I guess he did. But 1915, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was quite an eventful, whoops, my watch fell out. Doesn't work anyway, that's okay. It was quite an eventful year. If you remember, Woodrow Wilson was in the White House. We called him Woody. World War I had just begun, but we weren't yet involved in that. In Washington, they were discussing giving women the right to vote. They voted that down. There was the World's Fair was in San Francisco. Some movies that were in the theaters were Birth of a Nation and The Tramp with Charlie Chaplin. Of course, they were black and white back then. The British cruise liner Lusitania was torpedoed. Babe Ruth played for Boston and pitched his first game. He was a pitcher back then. Thomas Edison created the transcribe machine, which was the beginning of our answering machines, if you could see our smartphones today. And then my friend Henry Ford released his 1 millionth Model T, and then they put up a stop sign, and of course that stop sign was in Detroit. As I said, I was the mayor in 1915. This was a great time to live. Things were changing and fast. A guy named Park Trammell was the governor of Florida. We started to get our electricity, our phones, and our ice. And ice really made these drinks taste better. Someone built a new pier at the end of Cleveland Street. That allowed us to bring in more boats, which brought in the mail and products from Cedar Key. And we could ship out citrus. And some people even went fishing on that pier. 1905, some businessmen started something called the Board of Trade. This is a lot like your Chamber of Commerce, but we didn't allow women in the organization at the time. Can you imagine somebody like Darlene Cole wanting to be a member? It would never happen. In 1906, I was the mayor for the first time. During that year, we changed the name from Clearwater, which used to be 2 words. We changed it to be just Clearwater. People misspelled it anyway. In 1907, the next year, there was the beginning of a well-organized fight to separate this part of Hillsborough County, which was called West Hillsborough County. It started in 1907, but it took a long time to come to pass. Those people over there took our tax money and gave us almost nothing in return, but we showed them, and we probably would not have succeeded in this effort if it wasn't for a man named William Straub, who became the editor of the newly located St. Pete Times. That was our social media of the era. Sorry. Excuse me. 1910, I remember there was a big fire over here on Cleveland Street. took out an entire block across the street from where you have a Capitol Theater today. The fire started at 4 a.m. That taught us that we really needed to have a fire department with real firefighters and real equipment. 1911, the state finally made Pinellas County a county, which became official in January of the following year, January 1st, 1912. I just heard today that originally the proposal was to call this Bay County, but we called it Pinellas. At the time, Pinellas was the smallest county in Florida, 300 square miles, but it was already the leader in producing citrus, oranges, and grapefruits. I missed something here. Okay, my notes are mixed up, so I'll fake it. There. Oh boy. Around 1913, 1914, some women in the community thought we should have a hospital. So they were trying to raise money to start a hospital. And about that same time, Morton Plant had a car accident, and he had no hospital to take his son to. So he went to the women and said, why don't you build a hospital? They said, why don't you give us some money? So I approached Morton, and I said, why don't you put your money where your mouth is? And he donated $100,000, which led to the building of the Morton Plant Hospital. In 1914, as I said, I was mayor of the town, and some of my buddies suggested that we incorporate and turn this into a city, like the big boys in Tampa, and other people like Gulfport and Pinellas Park had already done this. In 1915, we held an election and created a new charter, and it passed by 94%. Of course, there was only a few hundred people that voted. So the town became an official town on May 27th of 1915, 100 years ago. We even had a big parade. It was nothing like the one you had like a week ago. We had a lot of horses and wagons carrying people. There were no jolly trolleys. There were no inflatables. But we did have fireworks, a lot of fireworks. So we formed the new government and started providing some new services. Back then, the resident population was about 3,000, but it doubled in season to 6,000, just like today. We had 5 hotels and 2 movie theaters. Our elevation was excellent, which allowed for excellent drainage of sewage, if you know what I mean. The streets were cleaned and the garbage was collected every single day. Visitors who came here declared that Clearwater was the cleanest city they'd ever seen. So I guess you can say we done good. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a history lesson since it's Clearwater's birthday. Now for our business award presentation. This is always such an honor because it's so hard to even go through the nominations and for the nomination committee to even select who should be the winner. It's a very hard choice. There is so much success going on in Clearwater Beach today and has been for the last 5-6 years now. As John said, all the different challenges that we had. Not only did 9/11 happen, but then the economy in 2008 decided to go in a different direction. Then we had the Horizon oil spill, and there was a few other things that were going on which made it really difficult. But when you look back here in 2015, where Clearwater Beach is today, and how many wonderful and successful businesses make up Clearwater Beach today, all of you here sitting in the room are a test to that. So as you can appreciate, even for the nominating committee, how difficult it is. But I hope you can see in your programs tonight who all the people that were nominated for all of the different categories. The Small Business of the Year award this year, and it's really hard because obviously, as you can all tell, most of the businesses on the beach, at least 80% of them, are small businesses. So it's really, really hard to try to figure out who the honor should go to. I think it's fair to say that one of our biggest problems on Clearwater Beach right now, and it's one that we respect and we are working on, is parking and traffic. We have a lot of traffic that comes to the beach. There's only 2 ways on and 2 ways off of our 3 Mile Island. And those are strong issues that we want to address. The visitors who are staying on the beach, who have accommodations here on the beach, they have a place to park. That isn't one of the issues. But one of the things that we attract here are our day trippers. And they are people who are coming here from Orlando, from Jacksonville, from Fort Myers. And when they come here, they're coming to check us out because perhaps they flew into Miami or they flew into Florida somewhere, and they want to come and see what Clearwater Beach is all about, because we still are kind of like the little kids on the block when you think of Florida. Even with our French interns, they know Miami and they know Orlando. Those are the things that they know about Florida. They've never heard of Clearwater Beach before. So when our day trippers come, they're actually our future. They're coming over here to check us out and then planning their vacations. So we have to be very sensitive to the day trippers and make sure that they have places, a way to get on the beach. It's very unusual, and this is probably the first time it's ever happened, but the nominating committee thought long and hard about this. We actually have 2 people that we want to recognize tonight for the Small Business Award. One is Jason Gibertoni with Florida Free Rides. Jason. This young man was right out of college when he decided to start a business here on Clearwater Beach. And I'm proud to say he's a very active member of our chamber now. Jason, I'd like you to say a few words.
This goes out to my team that's out there every day. We're up to over 20 people. And actually, Daryl and Ryan, can you just stand quick? I want to recognize these 2. They've been with me for years. And when I'm not around, they are keeping everything running. So thank you. This is a great honor. I appreciate it.
And the other small business, and we're talking small and new, was another one of our solutions. About a year and a half ago at our board retreat, one of the topics that we decided as a board that we needed to address was our parking. This young lady decided to chair a parking and infrastructure committee, and Jason was actually the co-chair on that committee. She on her own decided not only to form this committee and get it going with an active committee group, but she started a ferry service on Clearwater Beach. Tricia Rodriguez. This is one brave young girl, I'll tell you. Her and her husband both have committed a great deal to making the ferry service work. And we are very proud and thank them for their effort. Tricia, say a few words. Because there's a car on the table setting.
Wow. Never would expect something like this quick, and we just thank you all so much for your support. The city has been amazing in supporting the ferry service. You companies out there, I mean, we just couldn't be thankful. My husband, Dennis, is a major partner in this, and our family has gone, we call it 2 feet in, let's just call it everything in. And we're just hoping for the amazing support to continue and that it builds a brand in Clearwater to do it. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Nonprofit Business of the Year. Oh my goodness, there are so many wonderful nonprofit businesses out there, and I know all of us can attest to the ones that we commit our time to, the ones that we give financially to. There are just so many wonderful organizations out there. It's really a difficult challenge, and I think all of you can agree with me. I even find it for myself. I want to be involved with more and more of them because they all have such good purposes and missions. It's really hard. So coming up with trying to determine, again, who should be win the honor of being the Nonprofit Business of the Year this year was a challenge. This company started with an internship program for Clearwater Beach Chamber. The professor, Bo, was in Bordeaux teaching, and he called me and he says, I need a favor. Could you use a couple of interns? And I said, let me think about it a minute. And I kind of held the phone over here and I was like, yes. And then I got back on and I said, yeah, I guess I could use a couple of interns. That was a little over 4.5 years ago. We today have had 35 students that have come over here from the University of Bordeaux, from Pau, France, and also from Paris, from a private school in Paris. The students come over here, and when I tell you there are students coming over here, these are students that actually, we might start out with like 75 who are competing, and then the professor interviews them and works with them, and it's all depending on their grades and how many languages they speak. And it narrows it down to like 2 or 3. So there is a great competition involved with these students being selected to come over here. But today we are proud to say we've had over 35 students. We just got the new arrival of students a few days ago. The professor taught them all day today. So Professor Bo with Bo Institute, please come up and be recognized.
Well, thank you very much. I would like to share this honor to this institute and this program with all the volunteers and all the staff at the Chamber, because I don't know if you're like me, but in the last month we've had an amazing amount of great events at the Chamber that I've participated in, and many of you have too. And I would like to thank the staff for being Darlene, Liz, Vicky, and Roberto for being and doing what they do, because it's very important to our program also. You know, the interns are usually very involved with the events. They give a lot of their time. They're committed to it. And I know it helps the Chamber, but without the Chamber, we wouldn't have an intern program. So I want to thank you all for what you do, that I really appreciate. We had 2 years, as Darlene mentioned, we had 2 years where I brought some interns going to the Chamber, and then one day I was talking with Darlene about 2 years after that, and then I said, what would you think if we extended the program to other businesses on the beach? Would they be receptive? And she said, I think they would. I think I know several members at the Chamber who would love to have interns. So we decided to expand the program. And this was a great experience. It's still going on now, and we're enjoying it. I can tell you that for the students, this is, if not the best, one of their best experiences in their lives. And they come here, they're young, many of them have never been to the US, so it's a learning experience for them. But every time they find not only the experience, but the friendship from the businesses that welcome them. And from talking to the businesses after they leave, I can say that all these businesses benefit from these students being here from a cultural standpoint, but also from what they contribute. They're an outside view of the business, and therefore they can contribute ideas and sometimes suggestions that are applied in the businesses. So for them, it's a great experience. For both the business and the students, it's a great experience. And you know, when something like that happens in a business community, then we all rise collectively. So I want to thank you, because this is a great experience for everyone, and we all rise collectively as a result.
Thank you. Jason, I think you wanted to come up here and help me with this one. Citizen of the Year, oh my goodness. We have so many awesome people that contribute to making a difference. And I think all of us feel good when we know we've made a difference, whether it's with family or friends or at work. Jason, you want to say a few words too?
Darlene asked me if I wanted to help with this presentation because this person has been a big inspiration of mine since they've arrived 8 years ago from a little bit of traveling through their career. They have been a leader in the county across the board, serving as an inspiration, encouraging everything from internship programs to education. They don't see any lines between communities. They've always encouraged everybody to work together and have really brightened the entire county as a whole and strive to make this the #1 destination in the world. The Citizen of the Year this year for the Clearwater Beach Chamber of Commerce is Rhonda Sanborn of Visit St. Pete Clearwater.
Look at her, she's so surprised. Thank you. Seriously? Serious. Say a few words. Now, this girl, let me tell you what. She's special. She's very special.
I'm actually embarrassed that I am so fortunate that I get to represent the whole county and be part of 24 communities, and to be recognized is a really special honor when you feel like you spread yourself thin and you never really do enough for people, and that some people do recognize that how hard you work and how hard you care about every citizen and every business and every person and every community, and how fortunate we are to live here and kind of spread that word as much as we can. So thank you all for recognizing all of us who work hard for our communities and giving me this honor tonight. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Got it. Okay, you want to help?
Our next award will be the Large Business of the Year Award. This business exemplifies the elegance of Clearwater Beach. This business also portrays the standards that we all look forward to attain in our businesses. More importantly, their leader is an exceptional individual. You never hear a foul word of this individual. He's very giving of his time to his community, to his workers, and to our Clearwater Beach Chamber of Commerce. We would like to present the Large Business of the Year Award to Ocean Properties Hotel and Resorts, Eric Waltz.
Well, and actually, I think Mark Walsh is here. So, Mark, if you could come up.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you all very much. We're pretty blessed to work in such a great community, and I personally am blessed to work for such a great company. And, a lot of you might not know, I think you know Mike Cheesum and some of the other ownership of the Sand Pearl, but Ocean Properties is highly committed to this area. So one of our owners, Mark Walsh, and his brother Michael's here, and I wanted to introduce him to everyone as well.
Thank you. We're just really pleased to be part of the community. I mean, we really enjoy having an opportunity to come here. We develop hotels nationwide. We're a family business, and my dad started it in the 50s, so it's what we do. We build hotels, we own them, we manage them. So when we got here and got involved in the Sand Pearl, we felt very lucky, really liked the community, and then we thought, well, we'll try to do some more things here, and we've enjoyed working with the city and with everybody in the community to do some more projects. And we're lucky to have guys like Eric here, who I didn't know he didn't swear, though. I didn't, or say a bad word. I didn't know that part was true. But we're real lucky, and thank you for including us in this great community. Thank you.
Tourism Person of the Year. Wow. It's all of us. We all deserve this award. I'll tell you what, it really does take an incredible community. I often say this to everybody. We are so fortunate to be in a community where we all work so well together. In the hospitality industry, and especially on a small island like Clearwater Beach, everybody is competing against each other. You know, we all want to fill our beds, and we all want to fill the restaurants. We all want to have people going on our fishing charter boats. So in a community where it's so tight like this, and the fact that we all work so well together is something that I am extremely proud of. So it's so difficult to come up with who is the Tourism Person of the Year. And this is a little unusual because this person actually has made an enormous difference for Clearwater in a very unique way. This person happens to be in charge of the whole county. And even though Pinellas County, and I do still say Pinellas, because I was from here, people always say, why do you say Pinellas? It's because that's the name of it. People will say Pinellas or Pinellas, and it's like, you don't say pin cone, you don't say pin apple, you say pineapple and pine cone, so it's Pinellas. Just in case you were wondering, a little history there. But for somebody who has been charged with promoting our whole destination, this person has done an exceptional job, and I know most of you can attest to it because you've witnessed the difference that it's made. But it's David Downing, the Executive Director of Visit St. Pete Clearwater. You want to show his acceptance speech?
Hey everybody, I am so sorry I can't be there tonight. I really wish I were there with you. Instead, I am in Orlando at IPW Powwow, pushing even more tourism to the St. Pete Clearwater area with 5,000 of our tourism friends from all over the world. It is an amazing honor. I was so stunned when Darlene called to tell me that I'm Tourism Person of the Year from the Clearwater Beach Chamber. It's a huge honor, I'm flattered, and I thought there's so many other amazing tourism people in our world. How did you choose me? And I texted Darlene back to tell her thank you again, and in doing so I may have realized how I was chosen. Let me show you what I mean. Hey Darlene, thank you so much for letting me know I'm Tourism Person of the Year. Unbeknownst to me, all of these years, Siri has been calling Darlene darling. Didn't mean it. I don't know whether it had any bearing on whether she chose me or not, so either way, thank you very much. I accept this on behalf of the entire Visit St. Pete Clearwater organization. Surround yourself with great people, get great results. And speaking of great results in great cities, Clearwater, happy 100th anniversary. Here's to 100 more awesome years. And to the Clearwater Beach Chamber, happy 20th anniversary. You guys are killing it out there. Keep it going. We'll all keep it going. Bring even more visitation to the area. Again, I wish I were with you tonight. Next time I see you, we'll definitely catch up over a bite or a drink, even better. Thanks again.
Yep, that's how you win. Volunteer of the Year. Again, you can see from all the names in the program, this is a real difficult challenge, and I know I keep repeating myself, but it really is. I'm being sincere about it. It's very hard to choose when there are so many wonderful people that deserve to be recognized. This particular person has volunteered in so many different ways, I can't even begin to tell you, from going on sales missions to promoting events to helping grab coolers at ICE and carry pom-poms in a parade. Volunteer Person of the Year is Julie Norberg with Pier House 60 Hotel. Try to keep this under your hat.
Well, you can take this off of my bucket list now. I'm done. I was asked to be on the chamber, I thought, am I going to have enough time for this? They ask so much of you, but it's really something that I love doing every day. And when Darlene calls and says, hey, you got any pom-coms? You got any glitter? I'm like, I'm there. I've got this. So thank you to everybody, and thank you to Decade Properties for allowing me to have this honor. And it's really just a great thing to be on the Clearwater Beach Chamber.
I tried so hard to keep this a surprise. Don't you go crying off those eyelashes. We have one more award, and Jason, I did want you to help me with this one as well, please. It's not in the program, because this is an unusual award tonight. But we really, with our 20th anniversary, we wanted to recognize somebody who has really made an enormous difference. This person not only has made a difference over the 20 years, but he continues to show up at our board meetings and everything else. Jason?
This person is also a entire inspiration to the whole community. He's been involved critically in a number of aspects, from the chamber to the business, city, serving in multiple roles with the local government. And as he quoted earlier, he was a troublemaker. They were a troublemaker 20 years ago, and I think we're going to continue being troublemakers by leaving awards off of the agenda, but giving them out anyways. This we have a special award. It's a one-time one to John Durand as founder emeritus, celebrating everything you've done for the chamber, inspiration you've been to all of us the past 20 years. Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you. Thank you.
You don't need to say anything. If you want to, you can. I do. Okay.
First of all, thank you for this. And I share it with David Little because, quite honestly, it was a team effort then, and it's still a team effort. And there's a good team right now. Continue to be part of it. Thank you very much.
As you all know, Clearwater Beach Taste Fest and the Restaurant Week is one of our chamber's largest fundraisers of the year, and this was our 6th annual year doing this. And but for the fact of the leadership of Mr. Norberg, it would not have been as successful.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm signing on to that. I just think that we had an amazing team of hospitality professionals all working together. Everybody seemed to be in the right position for the job, and we all really capitalized on trying to make sure this was the best one ever. One thing I want to say, Chris, when I get back, that little sand thing better still be on my chair. Okay? A restaurant week was a blast. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but just watching that video got me amplified. I think the biggest thing I took away from it, and the biggest thing I'm hearing from people, is it seemed like the whole community was really working together. I got to know a lot of people that I didn't know, a lot of serious hospitality professionals that are in this room, and hopefully you all felt the same way. I guess we'll get into the awards.
Yeah, I would like to recognize the sponsors. We had some major sponsors this year, thanks to Ms. Heilman. Loki Motors, Janet. Should have a placard.
Thank you.
Thank you for your sponsorship.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bright Health Networks, but I don't believe Brian's here tonight. He had another event he had to go to. Clearwater Gas Systems, Chuck.
Chuck Warrington.
She came up for you earlier and got yelled at. This one's yours.
Run her off.
Run her off.
We're extremely grateful to Cheney Brothers.
Yes.
Is anyone here from them today?
I don't think they could come tonight. They had a conflict as well.
Cheney Brothers really contributed to this effort this year and brought a lot of great things to the table.
Yeah. Janet, do you want to come up and help with these awards? Loki's was definitely one of our major sponsors this year, and we are extremely grateful for their involvement. And I've asked Janet to help pass out the awards tonight. The best booth. Best booth at the Taste Fest. We already know who it is, but you know, it was a tie. I mean, it wasn't a tie. We had several people who applied. Third place was Krabby Bill's. Second place was Coretta on the Gulf at San Pearl. First place was Bob Heilman's Beachcomber and Bobby's Bistro. Sherry. I think you can tell we have a lot of fun with this event. Everybody really works hard. Yeah.
Okay, next up. Next up is Best Appetizer. Third place went to the Reef Steakhouse. Second place went to Villa Bellini. And first place went to Cork and Brew. Best entree. Third place goes to Surfside Tap House. Second place to the Reef Steakhouse. And first place to Heilman's Beachcomber. Sherry, you're wearing out the carpet. Best dessert. Third place goes to Cooter's Restaurant. Second place went to Shepherd's Ocean Flame. First place goes to Clearwater Wine Bar and Bistro. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
There's a lot of competition for pizza on Clearwater Beach. Third place went to Clear Sky Cafe. Second place was Krabby Bill's Bar and Grill. First place went to Krabby Bill's Clearwater Beach. Keep coming, girlfriend. I had the fortune of working with a lot of the kitchen managers and chefs from the beach on the media blitz that we were doing on radio and television all week leading into Taste Fest. Got to know some really good people. I am awarding the most enthusiastic chef to Chef Sean Reagan of Coretta. Do you have those steak knives open? Cheney Brothers was kind enough to contribute an outstanding set of knives. Best overall experience as it related to Restaurant Week. Third place went to Clearwater Wine Bar and Bistro. Second place went to Cooter's Restaurant. And first place went to Clear Sky. Congratulations. There's an award that I personally come up with, or I guess the chairman comes up with each year. And to figure out who I felt was really portraying Restaurant Week best, I went out and went to every outlet and kind of talked to managers and employees and saw what was happening at the front door, tried to see who was most knowledgeable with their staff. So the chairman's award for 2015 is going to Cooter's Restaurant because they were well into it.
Knocked it out of the ballpark.
Nice job.
Thank you.
As I mentioned, we had a lot of great people doing a lot of great things in this effort. One really stood out above the rest, and that is Miss Sherry Heilman for her efforts in bringing in sponsors to our event. We'll need you to come up here, madam. This is the Outstanding Committee Member Award. Here, you better hold your plaque.
Oh, okay.
Should order my here. That is the awards for Restaurant Week. I did want to close this out with a personal thank you to Vicki Hosh, who helped me get into this coming in a few months out. It was kind of a surprise to all of us who'd be the chairman of Restaurant Week this year. So she was also new to this effort, and she really helped me get through it. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Rick, we do have two more. We always and I'd like to preface this. I know this sounds like, okay, we're picking all these awards. We have ballots that are part of Restaurant Week, and all the restaurants receive their ballots. We actually had an app this year that you could vote from your phone. We had paper ballots. We had ballot counting. That started at 3 in the afternoon, the day after the Restaurant Week ended. And we didn't leave until 8:30 that night. I mean, we were hunkered down, unfolding origami ballots that had been folded in every direction to stuff in a ballot box. Every ballot box came back to the chamber locked. We were the only ones with a key. Well, we had over 5,000 ballots in 2 weeks to determine who these winners were. So the winners that you heard tonight was done fairly from the 5,000 ballots that we received during Restaurant Week. But one of the other things that we do is we always want to recognize the best server and the best bartender, because without their contribution to explaining what Restaurant Week is all about when guests come in. People who come into a restaurant may not even know it's Restaurant Week, so it's really up to the staff to say, you happen to be here during Restaurant Week. We have a prefix menu that we're offering you tonight. You can vote on your experience with us. Please do so. So we want to recognize the best servers and the best bartender. Danette Lynch couldn't be here tonight. She's with the FRLA, the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association. But she has been very supportive of the efforts for the servers and the bartenders. And we have chosen who they are tonight. They are receiving, each of them, a $500 check and a gift certificate for a 2-night stay at a lodging somewhere here in Florida. Somewhere here in Florida. Lutz or, Lutz. Would you like to announce who the winners are?
Best server from Clear Sky Cafe, Camilla Watts.
If you could please give that to her for us. I'll give that to her. Thank you.
Best bartender comes to us from Frenchie's Saltwater Cafe, Jessica Hamilton. Stand in.
You could give that to her, Ralph.
Very much. Absolutely.
Thank you, Rick. Yep. Louis, if you'd like to have your closing remarks, please.
Yes, I'd like to thank the Hyatt for a beautiful evening. Let's give them a round of applause. The staff did a great job. I'd like once again to thank the sponsors, the dignitaries in the room, the Chamber Board, the Executive Committee, all of our members, the staff at the Chamber that worked tirelessly, volunteers, and our guests tonight. Let's give everybody a round of applause. It takes a group to do what we've done. I must say, what a wonderful evening. The attendance in the room is a tribute to what we've accomplished out here on Clearwater Beach. Give yourselves a round of applause. As our night comes to close, we have to reflect on both the growth of Clearwater as a city and the Clearwater Beach Chamber of Commerce as a chamber. Happy birthday, Clearwater. Happy birthday, Clearwater Beach Chamber. The teamwork in our community, in our chamber, cannot be rivaled by any community. The friendships and respect that we hold for each other also cannot be rivaled. I thank each one of you for those relationships that we've grown and what we've contributed to this area. We are the pride of many communities that surround us. This is why I know for Clearwater Beach, the best is yet to come.